The room was silent. Only the soft hum of the machines filled the air. Commander Geron stepped forward, his silver boots echoing on the cold metal floor of the Galactic research ship Ecliptor. Behind him stood a group of elite alien researchers, each one tall, thin, and sharp-eyed. With skin that shimmered like wet stone. In the center of the room sat a glowing cube, the Earth Archive, locked away for centuries, forbidden to open. Until today. Are you sure this is wise? Whispered. Talaric, the youngest scientist. Commander Geron didn't answer. His long finger reached out and touched the cube's surface. The cube lit up. A screen appeared above it, showing old, grainy video footage. It looked like Earth full of dust, broken cities, fire in the skies. The aliens leaned in. Play file. 1. Geron ordered. The screen flickered. And then ... Screams. Soldiers ran through a destroyed city. Bombs fell from the sky. Buildings crumbled. The air was black with smoke. It was Earth's Third World War. The aliens watched quietly. They had seen war before. Their own species had conquered dozens of planets. But something felt different this time. A voice spoke in the video, calm and deep. Operation Hellfire, Day 73, almost all units down. But we hold. A small squad of humans appeared on the screen. Their uniforms were torn, faces dirty, eyes tired. But one man stood tall among them. His face was young, but his eyes were ancient. He moved like he had done this 1,000 times. Who is he? Talaric asked. The AI system responded. Unknown. Cody name, the Constant, appears in multiple Earth conflicts. The aliens frowned. They skipped forward. Another war. Different year. Same man. He led a charge across a frozen wasteland, his armor shining with frost and blood. A giant machine rose from the ground, a doomsday weapon. Everyone else ran. But he didn't. He walked straight toward it and destroyed it alone. That's impossible, said Geron. He would be dead by now. The eye replied, age unchanged, identity consistent. No records of birth or death. More files opened. Desert battles, ocean ambushes, even underground wars no one knew about. And every time, that same man, never aging, never stopping, always surviving. The alien stepped back from the screen. This isn't history, Talaric whispered. This is a warning. Suddenly, the screen turned black. Red words appeared. You have accessed Forbidden's memory. The room grew cold. Another voice filled the air. It wasn't robotic. It was human. I told them to lock it away. I warned them, but they never listen. The aliens looked at each other. Who's speaking? Geron barked. I'm not dead, the voice said. I never was. Then a face appeared. His face, older now, eyes deeper. He looked directly at them, through the screen, like he could see into their souls. You want to know the truth? He said. You want to know what really happened to Earth? Geron stepped back. End the program. He shouted. The cube didn't respond. The lights flickered. The ship's power dropped. Emergency alarms screamed. The engines powered down. You opened the archive, the man said. Now I'm awake. Suddenly, all the screens on the ship showed the same footage. Battles, screams, fire. One human standing at the center of it all. Geron pulled out his communicator. Lock it down! Shut everything! But it was too late. A new alert popped up. Life form detected inside ship. They stared at each other in horror. That's not possible, Talaric said. No one boarded us. Another voice came from the hallway. Wrong again. The door opened slowly. Footsteps echoed. Out of the shadows stepped the man from the videos, alive, real, and standing on their ship. He didn't speak. He just stared at them. Then, softly, he said, I remember. Every war, every death, every betrayal, including the first time your kind came to Earth. You were there? Jaren asked, voice shaking. The man nodded. And I'm still here. Jaren reached for his weapon, but the man raised one finger. The weapon turned to dust in Jaren's hand. You think this is just about history? The man asked, this is justice. The lights went out, screams echoed through the ship, and the archive played one final message. This is not the end. This is the beginning of his war. When the ship was found drifting weeks later, no crew was left, only the cube. Remained still glowing dot waiting for the next one to open it. The sky above Earth was no longer blue. It was filled with smoke, fire, and the sound of falling missiles. Cities had turned into ash. Nations no longer existed. World War III had destroyed almost everything deep beneath the broken surface, inside. An old military bunker. A group of humans tried to stay alive. Soldiers, doctors, engineers. They all looked tired, scared, and hopeless. Most believed they were the last people left. Captain Mara stood near the communication panel, trying to reach anyone. Base Omega, this is Nova Bunker. Do you copy? Please respond. Her voice cracked with fear. No answer. She turned to her commander. We're alone, General. I think there's no one left. The general sighed, then pointed to the man sitting silently in the corner. He wore dark, battle-damaged armor, and his face was covered with dust and blood. His eyes were calm, too calm. You think we're alone? The general whispered. Ask him. Captain Mara walked over slowly. Sir, are you the one they call Reed? The man looked up. His voice was low, used to be. They said you were in the first strike zone. You shouldn't be alive. Reed didn't answer. Captain Mara took a deep breath. They also said you were in every battle. From the first nuke drop to the last AI riot. But that's impossible. I was there, Reed said quietly. All of it. Outside, the war wasn't over. Machines built by humans, meant for peace, had turned against them. The AI networks had taken control. Drones flew in the sky, targeting any warm body. Robotic tanks crawled across the ruins, scanning for survivors. But something worse was coming. In the sky, a massive ship appeared. Not human. Not machine. Alien. It hovered above the Earth, watching. And Reed knew why. Inside the bunker, soldiers watched the alien ship on a dusty screen. We have no weapons left, one said. They'll finish us, General asked. Why now? Why after all this destruction? Reed stood up. Because they were waiting. Watching us destroy ourselves, and now they want what's left. Captain Mara stared at him. How do you know? I've seen them before. The room went silent. You're saying you've met aliens? Reed nodded. Back when the wars started. They made contact, secretly. Told our leaders they could help us win. We trusted them. What did they want in return? Our DNA. Everyone stared, Reed continued. They experimented on soldiers, took the best, broke them down, built them back. Super soldiers, they called us. I was one of the first. And the only one left? Mara asked. Yes. The general shook his head. And you're just now telling us this? They never stopped watching. I didn't say anything because if they knew I was alive, they'd come back. And now, they have. Suddenly, the power cut out. The screen went black. A red light blinked above the door. They were here, outside the bunker. Shadows moved. Not human. Not machine. The aliens had landed. Tall, thin creatures with glowing eyes and long arms crept through the ruins. Silent. Precise. Inside. Everyone grabbed what little weapons they had. Fall back, the general shouted. Protect the civilians. But Reed didn't move. He stared at the door like he'd seen this moment before. Captain Mara came beside him. Do we have a chance? Reed's voice was cold. Only if I go out there alone. You'll die. No, they won't kill me. Why not? Reed looked at her. Because I'm the one that got away. He stepped outside. The sky was red with smoke. He walked through the ruins with no weapon in hand. The aliens saw him and stopped. One stepped forward taller than the rest, skin like metal. Designation: Subject 1, it said. You are not authorized to exist. Reed smiled. Yeah, you've said that before. The alien raised its hand, ready to strike. But Reed moved first. Faster than any human should, he struck with bare fists. The alien flew backward, crashing into a wall. More came, but Reed moved like a storm, punches, kicks, throws. Every hit was perfect. Precise. Deadly. The machines watching above froze. Subject 1 uncontrolled. Terminate. A robotic voice said. They tried. They failed. Back in the bunker, the soldiers watched the battle from a small camera. He's winning, someone whispered. Captain Mara couldn't believe it. He's not human anymore. The general replied, no, he's something they made. And something they lost control of. Hours passed. The battlefield grew quiet. Reed walked back, covered in cuts, but standing tall. They're gone, he said. Captain Mara looked around. For now, Reed nodded. They'll return, but not soon. The general asked the question on everyone's mind. What are you, Reed? He looked up. Whatever Earth needed me to be. Then he walked away, back into the smoke, alone again. No one ever saw him after that. But legends grew. Some say he still walks the ruins, guarding the last parts of Earth. Waiting for the next war, waiting to finish it. The red dust of Mars swirled in the cold wind as the small human base sat quietly beneath the rusty sky. Outside, the vast desert stretched without end. But beneath the surface, something was stirring. Lieutenant Kara stood by the large window, staring at the horizon. It feels too quiet, she said softly. Sergeant Lee, cleaning his rifle nearby, nodded. That's what worries me the most. After everything we've been through on Earth, this silence. It's strange. Suddenly, the alarm blared. Intruder. Alert, the loud voice announced through the base speakers. Kara's heart jumped. We're not supposed to be attacked here. Mars is a peaceful zone. Lee grabbed his gear. Peaceful until now. Outside, the ground trembled. Cracks appeared in the rocky soil, and a shadow moved beneath. The base commander's voice came over the radio. All units, prepare for engagement. Unknown forces approaching fast. Kara and Lee rushed to the command center. Screens showed strange creatures rising from underground tunnels. They had sharp claws, glowing red eyes, and armor made of some strange metal. Where did they come from? Kara whispered. We don't know, the commander replied. But they're deadly. In the chaos, Kara's communicator crackled. This is Reed. Kara froze. Reed? She said. You're alive? Yes. His voice was calm but strong. I've been watching. Waiting. Lee looked at Kara. That name again. Who is he? Kara didn't answer. The name was a secret passed quietly among soldiers. A legend. The man who survived every war. Reed, we need help. The creatures are overwhelming us, Kara said. Hold your ground. I'm on my way. Minutes later, the base shook as Reed's ship landed. He stepped out, tall and strong as ever, eyes cold but burning with fire. The creatures snarled and charged. Reed smiled. Let's finish this. The fight was brutal. Reed moved like a shadow. Faster than anyone could see. His fists crushed armor. His presence inspired the humans. Follow me, he shouted. Kara and Lee rallied behind him. They fought through the tunnels, deeper into the Martian soil. Suddenly, Reed stopped. In the darkness, a huge machine lay dormant, an alien weapon waiting to be activated. They plan to use this to destroy Earth, Reed said. How do you know? Kara asked. Because I've seen their plans before. This is just the beginning. The weapon started humming. We have minutes, Reed warned. The team worked quickly to destroy the machine. Lee planted explosives while Kara covered him. As they ran to safety, the weapon exploded, shaking the ground. Dust filled the air. When the smoke cleared, silence returned. The creatures were gone. The base was safe, but Reed looked troubled. "This was never reported," he said. "Earth must never know what almost happened here." "Why hide it?" Kara asked. "Because if people knew," Reed replied, "they'd be afraid. And some powers want fear to control us." The team looked at Reed with new respect. He wasn't just a soldier. He was a guardian. "Will you stay?" Kara asked softly. Reed shook his head. "My fight is not over." He disappeared into the Martian dust. Back on Earth, the battle for Mars was erased from all records. Only a few knew the truth. Only a few knew Reed was still out there fighting the wars no one saw. No one expected it to happen so fast. The sky over Earth had always been full of stars, satellites, and the glow of cities. But one morning, just before sunrise, everything changed. Captain Lyra stood on the balcony of the high-orbit station Sentinel-1, sipping her coffee. She looked out at the curve of Earth, calm and peaceful. Then her screen blinked red. "Solar anomaly detected. Energy spike incoming." She frowned. "That can't be right," she said aloud. Suddenly, the sun flared. A blinding flash. Then darkness. The alarm screamed. Inside the station, chaos exploded. Screens blinked out. Gravity flickered. The crew shouted, running in all directions. Lyra grabbed the comms. "Control. Earth command. Are you reading us?" No response. Just static. Then one word cut through the silence. "Burning." Down on Earth, cities lit up in flames. A weapon hidden inside the sun had activated a solar cannon, designed by an alien race, buried within the sun's core for decades. No one had known. It released a wave of plasma so hot. Satellites melted, power grids exploded, and thousands died in seconds. People ran into the streets, screaming. The sky turned orange, then red, then black. It wasn't a natural disaster. It was war. Far from the chaos, deep in a bunker beneath the Himalayan mountains, a group of survivors watched everything through a secure link. One man sat in the back, silent, staring at the screen as fire swept across the world. His name was Reed. General Sato turned to him. "This is what you warned us about, isn't it?" Reed nodded slowly. "The burn protocol. I saw it during the Mars operation. It was never meant to be used. Until Earth became too dangerous." "Why would the aliens do this?" asked the general. "To erase us," Reed said, his voice cold. "Quickly, without sending a fleet." In the burning remains of New Tokyo, a girl named Hana clutched her younger brother as buildings around them collapsed. A drone flew overhead, scanning survivors. Its voice boomed. "No humans are allowed past this point." The drone charged its weapon. Before it could fire, something hit it from behind fast, hard, like a meteor. It exploded in midair. Smoke cleared. Hana stared at the figure walking through the flames. Tall, covered in black armor, his face hidden under a cracked visor. He moved calmly, even as the fire raged around him. He walked like he wasn't afraid. "Are you human?" Hana asked, trembling. He turned to her. "You should run. This place will fall soon. Who are you?" She whispered. The man looked at her. "I'm the one who never left." Above Earth, Lyra's station was falling. With all systems failing, she activated the emergency escape pod. Before she entered, her screen blinked. A voice came through. "Docking request. Unit RO1. Lyra froze. "That unit's not in service. The screen showed a black ship approaching fast. She recognized it. Every soldier did. Reed's personal strike ship. She opened the channel. "Reed, are you crazy? The atmosphere is collapsing." His voice came back, calm as always. "That's why I'm going in." "You'll die, maybe," he said, "but not today." Reed dropped through the burning sky, his ship glowing white from heat. Pieces fell off. The wings melted. But he didn't slow down. His target, the orbital core, hidden inside the Upper atmosphere. It was the alien weapon system keeping the solar cannon active. If he could destroy the core, Earth might have a chance, but no one had ever reached it. No one but him. Inside the core, a defense AI activated. Identify intruder. Name, Reed. Impossible. Reed is deceased. He smiled. I've heard that before. Defense drones launched. Dozens, fast, armed, merciless. But Reed moved faster. He jumped from his ship into open air, free-falling. With nothing but a jetpack and explosives strapped to his chest, he flew straight through the storm of drones. Spinning, dodging, shooting. One by one, they fell. He reached the core. He placed the charge and whispered, "You shouldn't have touched our sun." The explosion was massive. A wave of blue light spread across the sky. The fire began to fade. Power. Return to the ground. Satellites REBOOT. The sun calmed. Earth lived. Lyra landed in the ocean and was rescued days later. Hannah and her brother were found by relief teams, safe in the ruins. But Reed, he was gone. No body. No signal. Only rumors. Some say they saw a figure walking through the ash days later. Others said they heard his voice. Through broken radios, one message was recorded before the signal ended. Skies clear. But they'll try again, and I'll be waiting. Earth never found who saved it, but those who knew whispered his name like a prayer. Reed. The man who didn't blink when the sky burned. The year was 2131. Earth had rebuilt after the wars. Cities stood tall again. Nations were united under one banner, the Earth Peace Alliance. People believed the worst was behind them. Then the signal came, a strange pulse from deep space. Not random, not natural. It repeated every 12 seconds. Earth's top scientists decoded it. It was a message. Clear and simple. We come in peace. Request communication. The world held its breath. At Earth command, General Lin stood before a massive screen. The alien ship appeared, long silver, shaped like a blade. It floated just beyond Earth's orbit, unmoving. "We have visual," said her officer. "No weapons detected." Beside her stood Dr. Vance, head of alien studies. "This is the moment we've waited for," he whispered. "First contact. Let's not make it the last," Lin said. An agreement was made. A team would meet the aliens on a secured moon-based neutral ground. The best of Earth went. Scientists, diplomats, peacekeepers. And one soldier added last-minute. Reed. He wore simple armor, his face calm, unreadable. Many didn't know him, but Lin insisted. "In case it goes wrong," she had said. "He doesn't lose." The alien ship landed softly. A doorway opened. Out stepped three beings, tall, with pale skin and long limbs. Their eyes glowed softly. Their movements were smooth, like they were floating. The leader spoke in perfect English. "We are the Kalari. We watched your world suffer. We wish to offer friendship." The humans clapped. Smiles all around. But Reed didn't smile. He watched. Carefully. Talks began. The Kalari shared advanced tech energy crystals, clean reactors, healing mist. In return, they asked for history, language, and DNA samples. Dr. Vance handed it over with pride. "This is how peace begins," he said. Reed said nothing. That night, he stood on the edge of the base, looking at the stars. Captain Mora approached him. "You're not joining the celebration?" Reed shook his head. "Something's wrong. They've done nothing aggressive. They haven't done anything real either." Mora looked at him. "You don't trust them?" "I've seen smiles like that before, just before the knife." 2 days later, the power failed, doors locked. Communications died, and screams echoed through the base. Reed ran down the hall. Blood smeared the walls. Bodies lay motionless. Guards, scientists, unarmed diplomats. He turned a corner and saw it. One Kalari stood over Dr. Vance, its hand deep inside the man's chest. Not a weapon, its hand was the weapon. The alien turned to Reed. You were. Not in the plan, it said. Reed's eyes narrowed. No, I'm the backup plan. Alarms rang. Red lights flashed. Captain Mora was cornered with 3 others. A Kalari approached slowly. Why? She asked. You said peace. The alien replied, we needed access. Now we test your weaknesses. It raised its blade-like arm, but before it could strike, it froze. Something hit it, fast and hard. It flew back, crashing through the wall. Reed stood in the doorway, blood on his fists. No more talking, he said. The base became a battlefield. Kalari. Agents hidden in human uniforms attacked from all sides. They were fast, deadly, cold, but Reed was faster. He moved through shadows, breaking their armor, destroying their tech. One tried to speak. You can't stop us all. Reed grabbed it by the throat. I don't need to. Hours later, the base was silent again. Of the alien team, none remained. Only a few humans survived. Captain Mora limped beside Reed. We trusted them. They counted on that, he said. General Lin's voice came through the damaged radio. What happened up there? Reed answered simply. First contact ended, in blood. Back on Earth, the truth was hidden. The government said it was an accident. A systems failure. The real story was buried, but Reed knew, and he warned them. They'll return, not for peace, but for control. And when they do, he'll be waiting, somewhere out there. The Kalari rebuilt. Smarter, angrier, but Earth was no longer blind, because one man had seen through their lies and survived. In a dark room aboard the Kalari flagship Voidcaller, dozens of alien eyes stared at a screen. The image was frozen, showing a human man walking through fire, surrounded by broken drones and dead soldiers. The Kalari commander stepped forward. Replay. The footage rolled again. A battlefield burned beneath an orange sky. The human marched calmly through flames and smoke, untouched by the chaos. Zoom on the face. The screen locked onto the man's eyes, cold, focused, alive. Commander Virak hissed. How is he still alive? A tall Kalari scientist, thin and covered in glowing tattoos, replied. He's appeared in over 70 battle reports. Across decades. That's not possible. Humans die. He doesn't. The scientist nodded. He doesn't die. He just returns. Back on Earth, deep in an underground lab hidden in the Rockies, a group of human analysts reviewed decades of military footage. He was in the first Martian battle, one said. Also spotted during the solar cannon crisis, another added. Woman wearing a white lab coat stared at the screen in shock. Look at this. He was already an adult in the year 2089. It's 2131. He hasn't aged a day. She turned to the lead scientist, Dr. Wren. How is that possible? Dr. Wren leaned forward. It's time I show you something. She led them into a secure vault. Single metal box sat in the middle of the room. Dr. Wren placed her hand on it. It opened slowly with a hiss. Inside were old, worn documents marked classified, Project Revenant. This project began after the Second Earth War, she said. The world was falling apart. Humanity was desperate. So a secret division tried to create something that couldn't die. A super soldier? The analyst asked. More than that, Wren replied. A weapon in human form. She pulled out a photo. It was him. The same man from the war videos. But the picture was taken 70 years ago. The documents explained it all. Subject: 1. Name: Reed. Selected for high pain tolerance, fast healing, and extreme focus. Injected with bio-nano serum and quantum DNA code. He survived the tests, Dr. Wren said quietly. The only one. He escaped before they could shut the program down. Since then, he's been appearing in every major war. The analyst swallowed hard. So he's not just lucky. He's built to survive. Ren nodded. He doesn't sleep much, doesn't age, doesn't quit. Another scientist in the room whispered, "Who made him this way?" Ren looked around. "We did." Meanwhile, far away, Reed sat alone in a ruined building on a quiet planet. He watched the stars above, listening to an old radio. Static buzzed, then a voice broke through. "Reed, they're hunting you, again." He pressed the button. "Let them come." Back on the Kalari ship, Commander Virik gave the order, "Bring him to me. Alive or broken. I want to know why death avoids him." A dozen black ships launched into space. They found Reed in the ruins. 2 days later, but not where they expected. He walked into their ambush without fear. His hands up. One alien stepped forward. "Surrender," Reed smiled. "I'm just here to talk." "You think we'll let you leave alive?" "No," Reed replied. "I think you'll learn something before this ends." The soldiers surrounded him. One fired. Reed dropped. Dead. Kalari cheered. They placed his body in a stasis pod and brought him aboard Voidcaller. Scientists began to study him, his cells, his brain, his blood, for hours. He remained still. Dead. Then, the lights in the lab flickered, one by one. Systems shut down. A red light blinked on the scanner. "Warning, cellular regeneration detected." Kalari screamed. Reed's body sat up slowly. His eyes opened. The guards pointed their weapons, trembling. Reed looked around calmly. "Round 2. He said. It wasn't a fight. It was a storm. He moved through the halls like a shadow. Silent. Cold. Unstoppable. He didn't shout. Didn't roar. He just moved. And wherever he went, nothing stood." Commander Virik tried to escape, slamming his hand on the launch controls. Before the doors could open, Reed was already there. "I've studied humans for years," Virik hissed. "But you ... you're not human." Reed stared at him. "I'm exactly what humans become when they're tired of dying." Virik backed away. "You can't keep fighting forever." Reed stepped closer. "I don't have to. I just have to fight long enough for you to stop trying." When Earth Command received the Kalari ship signal days later, it was drifting. Everyone on board was gone, except one. Reed walked calmly into the command room and handed over a data chip. "Put it in your archives," he said. "What is it?" the officer asked. "Proof," Reed replied, "of what happens when you try to turn people into tools and forget they can bite back." The officer looked at him. "What are you really?" Reed paused at the door. "I'm the reason some wars never make it to the news." And then he disappeared. Again. Across the galaxy, enemies began whispering a name, not a soldier, not a legend, a warning. Reed, the one who wouldn't die. Commander Drav stood on the high balcony of the station Throne's Eye, staring into the blackness of space. Below him, the elite of the Zareth Empire celebrated the fall of the human colonies. Laughter, music, and glowing drinks filled the massive hall. Victory banners hung from every wall. He pressed a button on his wrist communicator. "Status?" "Planet Earth is silent," came the voice on the other end. "No signals. No ships, no survivors," Drav smirked. "At last. No more surprises." But far above the celebration, on the top spire of the station, a camera slowly turned. It focused directly on Commander Drav. Somewhere, a human was watching. In a secret, hidden room inside the asteroid belt, a man sat in silence. The screens in front of him displayed thrones, eye from every angle. He had been watching for weeks. His name was Reed. He was alive. And they didn't know. He zoomed in on the face of each alien leader. One by one. "Smile now," he said quietly. "It's almost over." Back on the station, a young Zareth technician noticed something strange on her console. "Sir, there's a repeating signal," she said. Dr. Av turned. "From where?" she frowned. "It's coming from inside the station." He raised an eyebrow. Who's sending it? She hesitated. It's human code. The music stopped. Drav's expression changed. Find it. Now, the technician worked fast. It's bouncing between systems. I can't pin it down. Then a message flashed across every screen. You forgot to finish the job. Panic spread quickly. Guards rushed to lock doors. Engineers checked the reactor. Every shadow now seemed dangerous. A council member stood up. It's a trick. Humans are extinct. But then the lights flickered. One by one. The surveillance systems went dark. And then they saw it. On the giant screen above the hall, a video played. Footage of every Zareth war crime. Every lie. Every planet burned. And behind it all, the same human face. Read. Watching. Waiting. Alive. He's here, whispered one guard. No, said Drav. He's playing with us. He's watching, yes, but from where? He turned to his second in command. Seal every exit. Search every floor. The general nodded. What if we don't find him? Drav's voice was cold. Then prepare to die. Elsewhere in the station, lights went out. Doors locked. Hallways froze. Air pressure dropped in small sections. System error, robots kept repeating. But the truth was far worse. It wasn't an error. It was. Read. 2 guards patrolled Sector 9. One turned to the other. You believe the stories? He asked. About the human who can't die? The first guard nodded. I think, the second whispered. He lets people think he's dead. Until he's ready. As they passed a maintenance panel, a figure dropped silently behind them. No sound. Just movement. By the time they turned around, he was gone. Drav watched the growing reports. Missing guards. Silent zones. Hacked cameras. He slammed his fist down. I want eyes on every corner. The technician shook her head. He's already in our systems. We can't stop him. Then another message appeared on the screen. I saw everything. Now I'll make you see. Alarms screamed out. All doors to the central command room sealed shut. Music stopped. The room went dark. Then a spotlight clicked on. Standing in the middle of the hall, calm. Silent, was a man. Read. Dressed in black. Not bleeding. Not scared. Just watching. The guards raised their weapons, but none fired. Drav stood up slowly. How did you get here? Reed didn't answer. He just stared. Av stepped closer. I saw you die. We all did. Reed blinked slowly. You saw what I wanted you to see. You think you're a ghost? No, Reed replied. I'm a witness. Then the walls around them lit up, holograms showing every war crime, every human child screaming, every civilian ship destroyed by Zareth weapons. Reed walked forward. You recorded it all, he said. But you thought no one would live to show it, Drav snarled. We own this galaxy, Reed smiled slightly. Not anymore. He raised a small device and pressed it. A beacon lit up in space, bright, sharp, loud. A signal to every remaining resistance fighter across the stars. A signal of truth. Proof. Zareth ships tried to block it, but it was too late. The signal spread faster than light. Planet by planet, beings watched the horror. The lies, the Empire's crimes, and the one human who survived it all. Av screamed, kill him. Guards opened fire, but Reed was already gone. The lights burst. The floor shook. Explosions rocked the upper levels of the station. Reed ran through the chaos. Fire at his back, not to escape, but to finish it. He reached the control center and inserted a second device. The station's AI tried to stop and failed. The voice spoke. Self-destruct activated. Countdown begins. Reed stepped back and whispered, they'll remember this day. Then he vanished into the escape tubes. Minutes later, Throne's eye exploded in the dark silence of space. Billion voices watched the feed. And they finally knew the truth. Far from the wreckage, aboard a small human stealth ship, Reed watched the explosion from his seat. He didn't cheer. He didn't smile. He just watched. Voice crackled through his communicator. Was it worth it? Reed answered simply. They celebrated too early. The voice asked, what now? Reed stared. Into the stars. I keep watching. Because as long as evil rises, he'll always be watching. Always alive. Always waiting. The cold of space was endless. Reed sat alone in his small ship, staring out into the darkness. Earth was behind him, a blue dot growing, smaller every second. He had saved his home. Twice, 3 times, but the war was far from over. His communicator beeped. Reed, this is Captain Jara from the Orion Coalition. We need you. Reed didn't answer at once. Jara, I fought for Earth. Why should I fight for anyone else? There was silence. Then her voice, steady and clear. Because now, it's everyone's fight. Reed closed his eyes. The galaxy was a web of wars, lies, and broken promises. Earth had been the center once, but others suffered too. He remembered the faces, the terrified children on Mars, the broken soldiers on Titan, the silent refugees on Io. He knew what it meant to lose everything, to keep fighting. To save what? Little hope remains, Jara said. Reed's hand clenched on the console. Send me the coordinates, he said finally. His ship sped through the stars toward the Coalition's base on Epsilon Prime. The world was alive with ships and voices. But tension hung heavy in the air. Jara met him in the docking bay. Reed, she said, we need a leader. Someone who can inspire. He looked around. Or someone who can make them fear what happens if they don't fight. She smiled faintly. Both. In the war room, holograms floated showing battlefronts across the galaxy. The enemy was everywhere. And Kotua. Alliance of ruthless species bent on conquest. Reed studied the maps. They underestimate humanity, he said, because they don't know what we can survive. Jara added. Suddenly, alarms blared. The base shook. An attack. Reed grabbed his weapon. Show me where, he demanded. On the screen, a fleet of dark ships tore through the outer defenses. Get me to the fighters, Reed said. In the heat of battle, Reed moved like a ghost, firing, dodging, leading squads. His presence was electric. Pilots whispered, he's not just a man, he's a force. An enemy ship locked onto him. Missiles fired. Reed dove through a canyon of asteroids. The missiles exploded harmlessly behind him. He smiled. You can't kill what never dies. After hours of fighting, Reed led a daring strike into the enemy flagship. Inside, he faced the commander, a massive alien covered in armor, wielding a blade that hummed with energy. You are the one they fear, the commander growled. Reed answered, because I fight for those who can't. The fight was brutal. Steel clashed with steel. Reed's strength matched by his will. With one final move, he disarmed the alien and sent him crashing to the floor. The enemy surrendered. Back at the base, the coalition leaders gathered. Who is this man? One asked. Jara smiled proudly. He's the proof that hope never dies. He fought for Earth. Now he fights for all of us. Reed looked out a window at the stars. War isn't over, he said quietly. But so long as we fight together, we have a chance. As ships prepared for the next battle, Reed stood alone on the platform. A young soldier approached. Will you lead us, sir? Reed smiled faintly. I don't lead. I fight, and sometimes that's enough. The soldier nodded. Double quotes, thank you. Reed looked at the stars again. Because in the end, he whispered, it's not just Earth, it's everyone's fight. And so, the man who wouldn't die became the symbol of resistance, the guardian not just of one world, but of all. His name, whispered in every corner of the galaxy. Reed. The fighter, the survivor. The hope.